Yo. What's up? Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Rethemed and Fear Given. Scratch that, reverse it. Fear Given and Rethemed. We are your hosts, Sean.
And Casey, and today, I don't know what's going on with you, but we are figuratively on our way back home from TransWorld.
Yep.
And discussing our experience of having dinner at the Lemp Mansion
Yep.
in St. Louis, Missouri, and
Yep.
discussing other history and stories of ghost stories we learned on a St. Louis ghost tour with a host named Georgie.
Hiya, Georgie.
Hiya, Georgie.
I could not get that out of my head the entire time
I know.
our tour was progressing.
I know.
So what are we talking about? Give us the outline.
We actually weren't. So I had the Lemp Mansion reserved for dinner like a week in advance, I think. Before we left, I was like, I googled some like haunted places around St. Louis. I wanted to, since we were there for TransWorld, I wanted to kind of look for some other things to do. We had been back and forth with a ghost tour, just because we were like so tired and we were in classes like all day the first couple of days and blah blah blah. But I wanted to make sure that we carved out time during the nighttime to maybe explore the city a little bit, since our hotel was right downtown and we could walk around. So since Lemp Mansion was not doing any ghost tours because of their off season, they only do them like every other Thursday or whatever, we decided on St. Louis Ghost Tour.
Yeah.
And this is with U.S. Ghost Adventures, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll go more into that after we talk about the Lemp Mansion. But yeah, so let's go ahead and talk about the Lemp Mansion. And when I say limp, it's L-E-M-P, limp.
L-E-M-P Mansion. So yeah, this was probably my favorite dinner that we had in the city.
It was really good.
Yeah. And honestly, I think I enjoyed every dinner we had except for the first one.
What was the first one?
It was like the sports bar, like right down the road from the hotel.
Was
it was packed with people. I'm shocked we even got a seat.
Yeah, I think I only picked it because it was like within walking distance, and I was hungry and tired, and we just wanted to.
We had just gotten there. It was very overwhelming to get into the city. There was traffic everywhere. There was a ton of construction, like barriers set up.
Yeah.
We thought it was so it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
No.
I anticipated line out the door for check-in at the hotel, because we were staying at the main hotel that houses all the guests for TransWorld. When we checked in, there was also a sorority convention that was in, and not like California, like current sorority members. This was like sorority alumni. Yeah. So two very different crowds of people.
Yes.
One in gold jackets and one in nothing but black.
Right.
So when we checked in, even the guy checking us in was like, "Oh, which convention are you guys here for? The sorority or the haunt one?" Huh. Thank you for asking. Yeah. But no, we are decked out in our black jeans, our black shirts, our black hoodies, and black hats.
Yeah.
So
I think we fit right into the sorority.
It felt more weird after the convention was over and all the black shirt people had gone home and it was just us. We were like, where did all of our people go?
I know.
It was sad.
Yeah, we fit right in and we loved every minute of it.
Yeah, so we're doing these in order-ish. So we're back home trying to get caught up on podcast episodes. So we're still going through our notes on TransWorld. We're trying to figure out the best way to separate it and structure it in a way to where we can talk through all of the classes and seminars we attended, also cover the show floor and all the crazy exhibitors that we got to see, all the people we got to meet and interact with, the Haunted Attraction Association, our experience with them. There is a ton to go over.
Yeah, it's a lot of content.
So still not sure how many episodes we're going to break that up into and how, but we will. We wanted to get these 2 episodes recorded so we could get a little more momentum before we went down the rabbit trail of completing notes for the other 2 St. Louis specific
Yeah.
episodes, which will be on TransWorld. And then we're also going to do a review of The Darkness, which is a huge, I cannot overstate that enough, a huge haunted attraction in St. Louis.
Amazing.
I've never been to a larger attraction. I feel like if you lined up all of the haunted houses at Halloween Horror Nights and you made me walk through them all like straight line, 1 through 10, no stops, I still think The Darkness was longer than all 10 of those combined.
Yeah, it was amazing.
It was insane. So much fun. So we're going to do a whole episode on that. I have to watch a few YouTube videos just to remember all the scenes so I can pick out my favorites.
Right. We were able to take pictures and videos, but we didn't video the whole thing because that would have been a lot.
Right. I wanted to experience it and not just film it. So, yeah. So that's coming up. So hang tight with us. Today we're going to talk about, like Casey said, the St. Louis Ghost Tour, and to start off, the Lemp Mansion.
Yeah, so the Lemp Mansion is a very old historic house, and it was first, not inspired, but it was first made known for the America's first lager beer brewers. So a man named John Adam Lemp came to St. Louis from Eschwege. How do you say that?
I think Eschwege.
Eschwege. I don't know. In Germany.
Somebody will comment.
In 1838, he originally sought his fortune as a grocer, with his store carrying a unique item amongst his competitors, lager beer. He had learned the art of brewing from his father back in Germany. When arriving in St. Louis, he found that the natural cave system underground provided the perfect temperature for aging beer. Who would have known?
Yeah.
In 1840, he decided to leave the grocer business and delve into the lager business, building the brewery. I hate saying that word, brewery. On 112 South 2nd Street, which is like a little further away from the Lemp Mansion, but still within close reach. He died a millionaire. His son, William J. Lemp, succeeded in his lager business, moving the plant to a bigger location.
Yeah, and in honor of talking about lager beers tonight, what are you drinking tonight, Casey?
Water.
I'm drinking Dr. Thunder.
Oh man, we should have had some good old lager.
Yeah.
And we don't drink, so we didn't actually drink
Not
any of this
anymore.
lager.
No,
But I'm sure it's really good.
yeah, I used to like lagers.
Yeah. So this story and the reason why it's like so popular and haunted is because this family had a lot of mysterious suicides happen in their family.
Yeah.
So did you want to read this or do you want me to?
Sure. And I have a thought at the end of this, but I'll read the paragraph first.
Sure.
So, the demise of the Lemp Empire is one of the great mercantile mysteries of St. Louis. It first started with Frederick Lemp, William's son, who would heir the brewery, where he died under mysterious circumstances in 1901. Just 3 years later, William shot himself in the head in a bedroom at the family mansion, most likely still grieving the death of his favorite son. Instead, William J. Lemp Jr. succeeded his father as president of the brewery. Excuse me. After this, the brewery's fortunes declined until Prohibition in 1919 closed the plant permanently. William Jr.'s sister, Elsa, also committed suicide in 1920.
Jeez.
On June 28, 1922, the Lemp Brewery was sold at an auction to International Shoe Company for $588,500, originally valued at $7 million when in business. After the sale of the brewery, William J. Lemp Jr. shot himself in the same building his father died 18 years earlier. His son, William Lemp III, died of a heart attack at 42 years old in 1943. William Jr.'s brother resided in the mansion after his brother's death, but ended up also shooting himself. His body was discovered by his brother, Edwin.
And Edwin actually lived to be very old.
Yeah, he was like the first.
Died of old age, so.
Yeah.
So yeah, there was a lot of
it seems
weird
like,
stuff happening.
and I don't find this super strange, but it seems like if you have a suicide in the family,
Mm-hmm.
it's not super surprising to me for it to be a domino effect,
Yeah.
because you internally start shouldering the concept of what could I have done?
Right. And you want to feel the same pain that they felt
Right.
because you
So
love
you
them
push
so
yourself
much.
to that same limit,
Mm-hmm.
that same cliff, and if you don't have the people around you
Mm-hmm.
or the we'll say the
Support.
faith or the support around you to stop yourself from going over that cliff,
Yeah.
then I don't find this that crazy to where if a grandfather committed suicide, so would the son.
Yeah.
So would the son's son. So would another family member, because you don't, it's almost like a spiral effect of how, when does the cycle end?
Yeah. It's really sad.
Yeah. So it's, yeah, I don't find that super crazy. I don't think it has to do with the actual location.
No, I
I
don't
think
think
it's
it does
more
either.
of the emotional impact that any type of suicide has on a family
Yeah.
in general.
They went through a lot of death. A lot.
Yeah, and I'm sure it still carries through any of their heirs today.
Right, yeah. Most likely. So the mansion in itself, it was built in early 1860s and was purchased by William J. Lemp as a residence and brewery office. I hate that word. Lemp used his brewery fortune to turn the 33-room house in a Victorian showplace. Now, when they say 33-room house, I looked at it and I was like, holy crap. 33 rooms in that place?
I don't think it was like 33 rooms according to today's
I don't think
standards.
it's 33 bedrooms. I think it was
Right.
33 like little.
There's a bathroom, there's a
there's a
closet,
closet, yeah.
there's a broom closet, there's a
Yeah, I mean it is a large house, but
yeah, but I don't know that it's like a hotel.
well, it's a bed and breakfast. But anyways,
Yeah.
breakfast.
Breakfast. What is going on, man?
Breakfast. In 1904, the house.
Jeez, what's? Woo.
Okay, in 1904, the house was completely renovated. The main bathroom, which is now the women's restroom downstairs, is dominated by a unique glass-enclosed freestanding shower that Lemp discovered in an Italian hotel and brought back to St. Louis for his personal use. And you can also stay at the mansion on the second and third floors, which were bedrooms and servants' quarters back in the day. The mansion does not have a ballroom in the traditional sense because the Lemps built an auditorium, ballroom, and swimming pool and a natural underground cavern that could be reached from a now sealed tunnel in the basement. What's up with all these tunnels?
They're everywhere.
It's crazy.
Savannah, St. Louis, Chattanooga, probably St. Augustine.
Jeez. Another tunnel led from the house to the brewery. The huge kitchen that once served the elite of St. Louis society has been completely modernized and now serves the honored guest of the historic Lemp Mansion restaurant.
Best restaurant in this area.
In this area. Yeah, so I will say that the bathroom is so cool. So,
I did not go to the bathroom in this place.
you didn't. I
Nope,
wonder
I
what the
should've.
men's restroom looked like. I don't even know where it was at.
I have no idea.
Anyways, the women's restroom is ginormous. Well, it's not ginormous. It's just, it's odd because you walk in and you see
Like an encased glass shower.
glass,
Glazed.
an encased glass bathtub, actually.
Ah.
In the middle of the room, and then it has carpet, I believe.
What?
A sink, a fireplace, a bidet that is like super old and European looking. It's a huge bidet. And then two toilet stalls right next to each other.
Is it huge benite too?
What?
You said it's huge bidet. So I didn't know if it was huge bidet and by night.
Shut up. And then I opened up, cause it was funny because, if you were in there, all the women are like looking around and they're we're just chatting about like the bathroom and what it looks like. I opened up
Y'all are social too much.
in the bathroom. Yeah,
Yeah.
women are very social in the bathroom. We opened up I opened up the closet door, and it was
Where did
just
y'all turn into? Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants and just getting a cult together
so
in
there
the
were
bathroom?
3 doors in there. So one door led, I think, to the kitchen, which is very weird
How did
because
you
I kept hearing
learn all of this?
I was in there.
Okay.
So I was, washing my hands and
Talking to everybody.
yeah, there was like a bachelorette party in there, and they were taking pictures in the bath
I
and
wonder how much it costs to rent out the bathroom for a bachelorette party.
just the bathroom.
Yeah.
I don't know. But no, I opened it up and like a bunch of stuff fell out, like brooms and stuff. I was like, oh, that's a closet.
That sounds
So
straight out of a movie.
so I closed it, and then the other door I didn't open, but I know it was probably connected to the kitchen or like a side door. I don't even know because I could hear the people in the kitchen talking. You can hear plates and everything like that.
You know what would be cool? What if that wasn't actually the kitchen and they just had a soundtrack of kitchen noises behind that door to make you not want to go through it?
That's really weird. Now
Yeah,
that
but
would
it's
be creepy.
plausible. That would be cool. You could use that in a haunt
Oh yeah, that's a
to
good
like
idea.
stop somebody from going in there.
Yeah,
Because
well,
you don't want to intrude on something. Like if you had 2 doorways, one was one type of music, the other was like kitchen noises.
Yeah.
Which one would you want to go to? I guess
Yeah.
it depends on what the
I
other
mean,
audio track is.
the bathroom was right next to the kitchen, so I assume it was the kitchen. But
Well, whatever.
anyways, it's a really cool bathroom. I'll have pictures on our Facebook of it. Now going into the restaurant, everything about the restaurant was great.
Except for parking.
Well,
parking wasn't
parking
bad.
in St. Louis
It
is
just
parking.
there was nobody out front, so like it didn't feel very
I know, but
crowded.
they actually had their own parking lot.
Yeah, I
that
didn't
we
know that when we
passed.
pulled in.
Yeah. Anyways, so we made a reservation, and we were seated like soon after arriving. It was a busy Friday night because it was bustling with like guests eating dinner, and also, why are you laughing?
Because you're paraphrasing your notes, but you still managed to hit the keyword of bustling, and it just... I don't know that I've ever heard you actually use the word bustling in normal conversation. Yeah, we were bustling the other day and doing errands, and so it was just funny. Sorry. Carry on.
This restaurant was bussin'.
It was bustling.
Bussin', not bustlin'.
Yeah, but your word is bustling.
I know.
Maybe
So
that's
anyways,
like a millennial thing.
sorry. It was busy with like a ton of haunt convention people, like TransWorld people eating dinner there. There was also, as soon as you walk into the left, there's a room that they do a small comedy murder mystery dinner theater, which is really cool.
They are super in character too.
Yeah, they are. It's really cool.
Yeah.
Our waiter was super attentive and knowledgeable about the restaurant.
All of the servers were.
Mm-hmm.
I think we had personal conversations with like 4 or 5 different waiters.
Yeah, they're very nice. We even overheard our waiter telling a ghost story to another table. I didn't want to ask again because I felt, I didn't want him to have to say it again. But I did ask the girl that was
like helping clean tables.
yeah,
and
clean
stuff.
tables, and I think she was
Bring
like
food.
an assistant or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
I asked her how long she had been working there and if she had ever had any experiences, and she said she'd been working there for like 2 years.
Year and a half. 2
Yeah,
years,
and she
something like
hasn't had any experiences, but she said other people that she's talked to have. So what did we eat there?
We ate toasted ravioli.
Which is a St. Louis staple, basically. Our friend had told us, I have a friend that lives in St. Louis, and so we met with them, and they told us about toasted ravioli, and they were like, it's okay. It depends where you try it. But this toasted ravioli was insanely good.
Yeah, not out of a can.
So good.
Real
oh my
good.
God.
We also had the Edwin sandwich.
Yeah,
Was
I
that
had
what you
that
got?
one. Yeah, that's what I got.
Okay.
It was like a I think I got it grilled chicken, I think. And
Okay.
it was spicy. It had like a spicy little remoulade on it or whatever. I don't know. It was really good. It was a little too spicy for me.
A bite?
Yeah, it was a little too spicy for me, but
Yeah.
it wasn't terrible.
I had the Prosperity, which wasn't it like a ham and cheese?
Yeah, it was like an open-faced ham and cheese. It
There
kind of
was a couple
reminded me
other
of like a
meats.
cordon bleu type thing.
I don't think it was more cordon bleu. It was almost like a open-faced roast beef sandwich, but like a switch out the meat and the
Yeah,
cheese.
the cheese was really good.
Yeah,
I didn't have much of it, but geez, I'm hungry now.
I know. We
You
just
only
ate.
you only fed me a little bit.
Oh, I only fed you a little bit. I gave you half of what I cooked. All right, don't make me think I'd shove you in a closet, Harry Potter.
Can I have samosa?
What was the dessert? Which you have made a TikTok of this.
I
Are
did.
you gonna put this video on
No, probably not.
what?
Go
You
on my
gotta
TikTok then.
no.
Go look at my
Post the
TikTok.
video when we post this episode.
Fine, I'll
Yeah.
try. I don't know if it'll let me because you can't post videos and photos at the same time. So,
Well, that's dumb.
anyways, so they had a option. Well, they had like a few options, but we really wanted a flambéed because as soon as we got there, I saw
They were
like
doing a flambe.
they were doing it, and I was like, I want that, whatever it is, because it also smelled amazing.
It did. It smelled so
So-
good. And we've never had tableside flambe.
Mm-mm.
We don't really get tableside anything.
No, so it was a really cool experience. It was like, I don't know, how much was it? $20 for?
It really wasn't bad because it was a dual dessert. So like it was made for two people.
Yeah, so I think it was like $25 or whatever.
Yeah.
It was
In the experience.
yeah, bananas Foster we got,
Flambe.
but they did have a cherry
Jubilee.
jubilee.
Yep.
It was so good. I don't really like bananas, but this was amazing.
Awesome. Served over ice cream.
Mm-hmm.
It was very good.
Very good. So highly recommend them if you're ever in the St. Louis area.
Yeah, the prices weren't crazy. Like
No. And they have other things going on there too. It's not just
if we went back, I would want to do the murder mystery
yeah,
thing.
that looked
That would
really
be cool.
cool. And then they also have a like a little or in the back you can go with like gift shop or whatever. It's super small, but
Yeah, we didn't get anything, right?
no, we didn't.
No, they had shirts and little trinkets and
Yeah, but they
spoons.
they do ghost tours as well.
Mhm.
And then they also have a new escape room thing that they're doing. So that's really cool. And then they also do like bingo nights. I think they have, just like cool fun weeknight things. So
Yeah.
definitely check them out if you're in St. Louis area.
What's up next?
So let's go into the ghost tour.
Yeah.
Not one of my favorite ghost tours ever, but
No, but
We
it was
did
an
it.
experience.
it was an experience. We're not going to be super negative about it, but I did leave a semi-negative review only because
You left an honest review.
I left an on because I felt bad and I wanted other people to
have expectations.
have a better a better experience than we did.
Yeah.
So our tour guide was named Georgie. And we learned a pretty good bit on this. I mean, a few things.
So we're not going to go in depth on the stories and the sites,
Nah.
mostly because I honestly don't know what was fact versus fiction.
Agreed.
This was the first ghost tour where we've ever walked back to our car and gone, do you think that was real? Any of that? Do you
Yeah.
think any of this was made up?
Right.
Because it wasn't super convincing. It was entertaining to a point.
It was almost, it felt kind of forced. I mean, I'm sure St. Louis is haunted as every place is because, people die. That's just inevitable.
Yeah.
But, and especially since, these big cities are so old and they've been around for a long time, of course they're going to be a little haunted. But the stories are kind of just
So
bizarre.
to play devil's advocate, it did start off a little awkward. So as we kept going closer to the end of the tour, I thought, what's the worst thing that can happen? What's the worst answer I get if I ask, hey, how long have you been doing this? If the tour guide had said, oh, I've been here 3-4 years, I would have been concerned.
Yeah.
But instead, Georgie said, actually, Thursday was my first day.
Yeah.
And when we took our tour, it was Sunday, right?
Right.
Yeah. So if our tour guide had done tours every single night, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Best case scenario, this was their 4th day.
Yeah.
Worst case scenario, this was their 2nd day.
Right.
So I honestly don't put any of the blame for the negative experience. I don't put the majority of the blame on her.
Them.
Well,
Yeah.
she said her, them.
Oh,
Or
sorry.
she, them.
Sorry.
So
Yeah.
I put more of the blame on the company that provided the training.
I would agree with that. Yep.
I don't think the tour guide
Because they're a big company.
Right. I would imagine, I've never been a ghost tour guide, but I would imagine that you would have to go through some sort of shadowing process unless you have a lot of experience.
Right.
So like on the last episode when we talked about Jason and the Chattanooga ghost tour, maybe he didn't need to go through the same process if he had been doing ghost tours in another city, had a good bit of experience.
Right.
For him, it's more about, okay, tell me about the history of this place, this location, this city, these sites. And then he can go do his own research. And he's a good enough storyteller where you just have to give him the base information and he will go research the stories and find the best method to put them in a storytelling friendly format.
Right.
I don't know that Georgie had that same experience or was given the same resources to be able to achieve that. So I don't
Should've.
think Georgie was set up for success.
I don't
in my
think so
opinion.
either. So yeah, that's why I reached out to them and kind of just made them aware that she did as well as she could with what she had. But
Yeah,
definitely
because Georgie even said often during the tour, like,
yeah.
guys, I'm sorry, but like I really wasn't given super in-depth information about some of these sites, so I had to do a
Right.
lot of my own digging.
Yeah, which is like really like
Right.
you should set
This
them
is
up
not
for
a new
success.
city where you have to figure stuff out.
Right. So, yeah, did the best that she could with the the things that she had. I'm sure she was nervous. I would be too.
Yeah,
Being
that's
new and everything.
intimidating.
But yeah, just practice some more, and you'll get great at it. I assure you.
Yeah.
So what are some new terms that you learned on this tour?
2 new terms and 1 new concept, which I had heard before and kind of seen depicted in pop culture stuff, but it was a new kind of story for you.
Yeah.
So the first 2 terms that we learned that I feel like we've heard before, but I've never actually dived in to research them and figure out exactly what they are in depth. So first one was a ghost light. Do you know what a ghost light is? Without cheating?
No, I don't. I assume it would be like a cat toy.
So to me, it's not.
Okay.
To me, I would consider a ghost light being like a lighthouse.
Okay. Oh, okay. I get what you mean.
But in this case, a ghost light is typically an electric light that is left energized on the stage of a theater when the theater is unoccupied and would otherwise be completely dark.
Ah, okay.
So similar to lighthouses kind of being a guide for ships coming in, maybe when it's not completely 100% of the time manned from the lighthouse, the practical use of the light on a stage in an otherwise dark theater is more so the safety. So if you're the first person coming in or the last to leave and you're turning stuff off, turning stuff on, you can go in with a flashlight, you can go in with your phone. But if you don't and you fall, technically you could probably have a case to sue the theater.
Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm pretty sure, I'm almost 100% sure I learned about this when I was in theater.
You probably did. This is not location specific. Like,
no,
this is a big
it's
thing.
definitely theater related. I remember.
I think
we
there
had
are
to use.
also news stories where thieves have broken into theaters and they have sued the location because they actually fell into the orchestra pit or fell over props and broke their legs or broke something. And they're like, I'm suing you for negligence. And they probably could have won the case.
Right.
So kind of crazy, but overall, it's just a safety measure. There are some folklore type stories around it where you're keeping the flame alive for the spirits that are there. But I don't know. From the practicality of it,
It's just a
this is
safety
to
thing.
prevent accidents.
Yeah.
Right.
For sure.
The second term we learned was liminal space, and this is liminal, Liminal.
Mm-hmm.
And liminal spaces are empty or abandoned places that appear eerie, forlorn, and often surreal. Liminal spaces are commonly places of transition.
What do you mean by transition?
So,
So, like when a ghost becomes a person? Or a spirit becomes an apparition?
I think it's places of transition, maybe like asylums, hospitals,
Oh, okay. I get what you
could
mean.
be. So when I think of liminal spaces, I think of the Conjuring House, like the real
Okay.
one in
Yeah.
Rhode Island. I think of specifically the basement.
Mm-hmm.
To me,
It's
that's
like a
been the
portal.
closest. Yeah, that's been the
Okay.
closest to a place that almost doesn't feel completely real. Like it.
Right.
I
Feels
mean, I
like,
know it says often surreal, but like it's almost something not out of a dream, but a place that doesn't feel like it should exist,
right.
and that we just kind of found it and was like, oh, there it is,
Yeah. Okay.
and
I get what
people
you
are
mean.
kind of commonly attracted to it.
Yeah. There's a lot of places like that.
Exactly. So liminal space is kind of that. I would say a place that kind of calls out to people,
Mm-hmm.
but is otherwise very kind of strange and otherworldly.
That makes sense.
And the third kind of concept we learned was a turtle with the world on its back. And the reason this came into play is we passed the one of the libraries there,
Mm-hmm.
and underneath the concrete pillars, on each corner of those pillars, of each pillar, was a little turtle.
Yeah.
And the story behind it was it's called a bunch of different names, but the most common are the world turtle, the cosmic turtle, or the world bearing turtle. And it's the concept, it's in a lot of different cultures' mythology where a turtle is essentially carrying the world on its back. So,
Mm-hmm.
like, the shell is the curve of the world.
Mm-hmm.
So, it doesn't really play nicely with the flat earth concept necessarily.
True.
It's kind of curved, but there is a limit within
Yeah.
the story. You
It's
could
still
fall off.
it's still cute though.
Yeah, and the pop culture depictions of this online, I think, are really really cool.
Yeah.
It's come into a lot of different varieties to depict it,
Mm-hmm.
and they're all really interesting to me.
Yeah. So I know you said that we're not going to dive into like the popular stories and sites, but we do want to talk about like
Three
the
of the
three
ones we
main
mentioned,
ones.
yeah.
Yeah. What is the first one?
Are you making me say it because you don't remember how to say it?
No, it's Madame Chateau.
Choto.
Shoto?
Choto.
Choto.
Choto. I don't know. Unless our guide said it wrong or unless I remember it wrong, which is both very
Pretty.
possible.
I don't know. I've always pronounced it as chateau, but
So I don't think it's spelled the same way as chateau
okay.
because there is a street that we rode down, and I don't think this note says it the same way as the street because the street was like Choteau,
Oh,
not
Shoto.
what's written here.
Gotcha. Okay.
The second one was the City Beautiful movement, which tied into how the whole city kind of needed to be cleaned up. It had a lot of, I believe, homeless people. It had a lot of kind of decrepit statues and buildings, and just the whole city was kind of run down in a way.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it was the governor or the mayor or whoever it was, decided that the City Beautiful movement, which had been done in several other cities before this, the city needed to be revitalized. It needed to be cleaner. It needed to be more upscale. It needed to be more inviting and welcoming and just more beautiful.
Yeah.
And a big push for the city to start that movement was they wanted a bid into the World's Fair, which they actually won in 1904. So the World's Fair in 1904 was actually not housed, but resided. It took place.
Yeah.
It took place in St. Louis in 1904. And there is a rumor that the Ferris wheel, yeah, that's the one that's, yeah, the Ferris wheel of the World's Fair in 1904 is actually buried somewhere in St. Louis under the city, which seems
Bizarre.
bizarre. How bizarre.
Maybe. Who knows?
Yeah,
We'll
it's
never know.
possible, but The World's Fair in general, I think, is really cool.
Yeah.
Isn't that where Disney took a
His
lot of
kids?
things? No.
Oh.
Like, that's where he pitched.
His ideas.
Yeah, because I think in the movie
Yeah.
Tomorrowland, it talks about World's Fair, and I think Disney played a big part in, I'm going to get a text about this. I think It's a Small World was showcased at the World's Fair, as well as
right.
several other attractions.
That sounds right, but I don't want to say yes or no to
Yeah,
that.
somebody's going to text me, and they're going to go, you should know this. What was the third popular story or location?
The Campbell House Museum. I don't really know much about them except they were rich and they had a really nice house.
And they had cool kids' names.
They had a cool kid named Hazlet, which I love.
Yeah, that made our list of possible.
Hazlet.
Yep.
Hazy Hazlet, Haze.
So 1964 and 1965, New York World's Fair came to represent more than just new attractions for Walt and his team of Imagineers. Let's see. So General Electric's Carousel of Progress, Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln, It's a Small World, sponsored or presented by Pepsi, and Ford's Magic Skyway.
Ooh, that's cool.
Yeah. I think those were the only 4. Don't quote me on that. And Epcot is allegedly,
That makes sense.
depicted or based on World's Fair.
Cool.
So what next? Reviews?
So yeah,
Overall, I
Yelp and
enjoyed the
Google
ghost tour.
reviews.
I will say, like, I would go back and do this ghost tour. I wish we would be able to choose our tour guide before.
I honestly wouldn't do this again.
I would.
Paid $75.
I know, but
And it just was...
it was their 4th day.
I know. But honestly, I mean, I'm not a huge fan of St. Louis. It's nice, but...
I didn't know anything about it, really.
I didn't either.
Like, we've never been to that state.
No.
We've never been to that city.
No.
So for me, it was cool just to walk around and feel safer than if it was just the two of us, which I don't know that I really felt safer with the tour guide, where all she really had at her disposal to
was a lantern.
defend us was an electric lantern.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
I mean, yeah.
We didn't get
it's
harmed.
relatively safe. I mean, there are homeless people walking around,
I
but
think
there's
that's anywhere.
really.
Yeah.
It is more safe in some areas other than
It doesn't
downtown,
feel
but-
as safe as Chattanooga.
no, not at all.
Honestly, nowhere really has.
So yeah, the first review that I wanted to share was from Shannon.
Okay.
And Shannon said, Matt was awesome.
No, we don't do reviews in normal voices.
Oh, so what is Shannon?
I think Shannon is from a trailer park.
Oh, God. Okay.
I can say that because I grew up in a trailer park, kind of. I grew up in a trailer in.
So do I
behind
have
a
to sound
junkyard.
like I've been smoking for the rest of my life? Or for all my life?
Yeah.
No. So
At least do like a southern, real twingy.
Matt was awesome. We met in downtown and walked around just after dark, so it was extra spooky.
That's good.
My husband ended up having to work late and missed the tour, so I was by myself, but totally comfortable and very entertained. I learned so much about the city's history, the gorgeous architecture, and all the best haunted spots. Would absolutely do another tour with Matt and would highly, highly recommend.
That was good.
Was it?
Yeah.
Thanks.
I felt that you had like baby on your hip and was just rocking away telling a reporter about your experience. That's what I was picturing.
With a cigarette in my mouth.
Yeah, just like dangling right off your bottom lip, not even touching the top. Yep.
That's funny.
All right.
So what did Jeremiah say?
What type of person is Jeremiah? I only know of one Jeremiah. Like, I've only met one Jeremiah in my life.
Yeah. What about a... Because this is like a bad review, so...
Would it be like a cranky old man?
Yeah.
Yeah? All
Yeah, cranky old man.
Gotta get the gruff from boys. Kept my money from my plushies. I paid extra and ordered but did not receive. Refund link and page is not a real page and does not work. No response from person who runs it. Man showed up and started tour where one wedding was occurring, then didn't have permission for us to utilize the bathroom at the station, where security informed us we were interrupting another wedding, which were very formal events. Was not a professional or legitimate experience. 40 minutes in, we had made one stop, so we left the tour. Did not even ask for our money for the tour back, just for the stuffed items we did not receive.
The stuffed items. Why is he yelling?
I don't know, but
Jeremiah needs to calm
I'm starting
down.
to think they don't even give the plushed items or the stuffed items away because
No, please do not buy that.
No, just go for the tour.
Just go. Yeah.
So,
oh, I will note that we did spend an extra $14 to extend our tour.
Total, not per person.
Yeah, sorry, total. To extend our tour to see, technically, it told us 3
additional locations.
locations.
In reality, we walked 2 buildings down back to the start of the tour.
Yeah. So, would not recommend that.
No.
However, yeah, so I have a I have a bad review, and I really try to be nice, guys. I really do.
Yeah.
But I have when I pay $75 for like something that I am excited about,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't get like the experience I thought I would,
Mm-hmm.
then it's just, I have to give you a bad review. I'm so sorry. But these are the reasons why. So check-in was not in the same area they mentioned in the email directions. So the host needs to make sure that everything matches up to the instructions that are given to the person who makes the reservation.
Mm-hmm.
It told us that we would be meeting in the park across from the Stifle Theater. In reality, they were at the Stifle Theater outside, not in the park. So we waited in the park. We had to cross the road.
I would have rather waited in front of the theater.
Correct. It was much safer. And I just didn't want to have to walk or
down to the crosswalk.
Yeah, down to the
just to
crosswalk.
go right back up.
Yeah, but we had to do it anyways.
Yeah.
So, the starting and ending location was also different, which you should never do.
No, it was different for both the extended tour and the non-extended tour.
Right.
Of which our group was half and half. There was 4 extended tour people and 4 non-extended, which was super awkward to kick them off the tour and then go, yeah, but these 4 are already paid. So either one, give them the option. You can continue with the tour. You know, these people paid $7 extra per person. Option 2, separate the tours completely so you don't have that awkwardness. Or, I don't know. I guess those are really the 2 only options.
So my... so I would say, you know, in this instance, you would be like, all right, so our tour is ending. You know, those of you that have, you know, purchased the extended tour, just hang over here for a second.
Yeah, give me like 5-10 minutes.
Give me like 5 minutes. I'll wrap up with the other tour, and I'll meet you back over there in just a few minutes. Not stand there and wait for them to leave.
Yeah, and talk about how tips are greatly appreciated but not required. And do all but hold your hand out.
Yeah.
That was a little awkward, but whatever.
So another thing is there could have been up to 35 participants in each tour, which is absurd. It's absurd. Yeah. You do not want that many people on a tour. No. There were 4 of us to begin with, and then 4 people showed up a couple of minutes late. So,
yeah. And just, I don't mean to keep comparing the 2 tours, the Chattanooga and the St. Louis one, but pointing out all of this, we talked about the stuffed animals not being present at the start of the tour. In Chattanooga, we did a similar thing. We bought a magnet when we booked the tour, and we almost didn't get it. At the end, he was like, all right, you guys can go here. You know, we're close to your hotel. And we said, well, we bought a magnet. We should have told you at the beginning. He was like, oh, no big deal at all. We'll walk back to the starting location. It's really not far. It's like a 2-minute walk. Yeah. And we'll carry on the magnet.
But like, if you're giving or offering those things to people that book your tickets, have them ready.
Or don't sell them.
Yeah. Yeah. Just
and
like, don't forget about it. That's just ridiculous.
So we only had 2 on our Chattanooga ghost tour, and he still had a microphone and a speaker.
Yes.
This one, there could be up to 35 people, And there was none of that.
And a lot of reviews did say that they could not hear
Right.
the person
I couldn't hear
because
half
there were
the
so
time,
many
and there was
people.
8 of us.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, so definitely knock down though. I know you want to like book as many people as possible, but definitely knock that down to
or at least get the speaker and mic. It can't be that expensive.
No, it's not. It's really not. Especially if you're like a multi-city tour.
Right. Roll it out for the whole. Yeah, reviews will be much better.
So yeah, the stories were just a bit too cheesy for me. We don't know if they were true or not, honestly.
Yeah.
We had to fact check a few things,
which is never what you should have to do after a tour.
No. But I mean, some of the facts were a little interesting. That's why we were like, let me fact check that.
Yeah.
Overall, it had beautiful architecture and buildings. I did enjoy that.
The statues were awesome throughout.
But yeah, I will say that the what's it called? The company U.S. Coast Adventures did reach back out to me, and they took my advice, or they took my feedback.
Listened to you.
They listened to me, and hopefully they will correct that. And they also didn't give us our money back, but they did give us a
kind of credit towards
another city. So and they have tons of cities, so we'll link their link or their website in the show notes.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, that's about it.
Yeah, it was a good trip.
So yeah, definitely go to St. Louis and go to the Lemp Mansion, and maybe don't go on the ghost tour, but that's just my opinion.
Go to the darkness during peak season.
Yes, definitely. Amazing.
Yes. Okay. Other than that, I don't have anything else to add.
Nope. All right. Thanks, guys, for listening. Remember to like, share, subscribe. It really helps us out, and we'll talk to you next time.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.